What up, guys? And here we go. I've got the first footage out of my Contour GPS ready to post up for you guys. This is going to be one of the first few games that I got out of a Sunday day of play a couple of weeks ago. I have a local field that I go to here in Ohio, which is, Northwest Ohio isn't the best area for paintball, and it's kind of hard to get enough people to play at one time, even at this little field. But it turned out to be a really good weekend. There was about 40 people there, maybe. A bunch of new players, a bunch of college kids came out and played. It was the best weekend the field's had so far this year. It was a really great time. There wasn't too many people that were actually really aggressive and played the objective. And as you'll see here in Africa, the objective is to take the flag hanging in the middle of the field and hang it on the opponent's starting pole. There's a river that runs right through the center of the field, and you can cross the river and play on both sides. And you can see here where we do get into a little bit of trouble, but being new players, it wasn't a very challenging weekend, but it was a really, really good weekend to play. It had a lot of fun, and I'm just going to go through and commentate this. There won't be too much audio coming out of the camera and the field, because the way I mount the camera is it's in a case, and the case doesn't allow audio to get through to the mic on the camera too well. So I'm just going to go ahead and commentate this and edit it down a little bit and see what we can get out of it for our first trial on the GPS. So here we go. So here we go from the beginning. It's a really long run, and you can see right there I tripped and ate a little bit of crap right there right at the beginning. But it's a pretty good of a run to get to the middle of the field here. I mean, I'd say the field's probably, maybe a quarter mile long from one starting box to the other. But it's a pretty good huff up here, and the camera footage is going to be a little bit shaky. I mean, it's a given. But it did come out pretty well, and you can see right in front of me there's the flag. So I figured if I ran all the way up to the center of the field, my enemy would be able to be up there too. But we got up here and there was absolutely nothing, no resistance. They didn't push up, and it's kind of what I was expecting. So I just go on up here, and I'm gonna rip that flag down and keep that with me until we can push all the way to their starting pole and hang this flag. Right there, I'm turning around trying to tell my teammates to move up, because there's nothing up here. We can't see anybody. So finally, we get one or two guys to mosey on up here. I'm not exactly sure how many people we have over on the other side of the river at this point, so I'm also trying to keep an eye over there and make sure we don't get shot from across, because that is a possible shot across that river. You can get some pretty good angles on this flagpole right here in the middle of the field. But I am probably going to cut a little bit of this footage out. Just due to a lot of it is, laying down into the grass, trying to dig in nice and good, so we don't get hit. Try not to make it too long, because it is going to be kind of a rambly commentation here. And see, here I'm looking across, trying to see if anybody's over there, and I haven't seen anybody to this point. And finally we get a couple of people across the main path here, which is maybe 10 feet to the out of bounds zone. It's a very, very narrow playing field here in Africa, and as you can see, I mean, they call it Africa because it's barren. I mean, there's absolutely no cover really worth anything on this side of the river. Normally, you get into late July, August, and everything is just completely dead and dry, and basically what you would expect from, an Africa terrain. But here we're just trying to crawl up just a little bit. My brother's down, working the ditch bank, trying to pull a couple of shots out there, but he really can't get anything either. And we basically sit in a stalemate here for a little while, so we're going to see if we can't fast forward a little bit of this footage and get into a little bit of action. That bush right in front of me, right there, I know there's 2 or 3 players in there, but it's really, really hard to get shots. So I'm telling my people behind me to see if they can pull up a couple of shots, because I really, without you know, showing my gun and my mask, can't get a decent shot without taking too much risk here. So I'm trying to crawl up a little bit, maybe dig into cover just a little bit more. I still got the flag, still moving up little bit by little bit, trying to get a little bit better cover and not get shot here. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and fast forward this just a tad. Alright, so at this point we're still stuck in this ditch bank right here, shooting across the main path into those guys into the bush. I know the rest is over there checking them to see if they get a couple of hits on them, because they are dug in real good, and I'm putting quite a bit of paint over there, and they're shooting back at us pretty good too. Now I do remember at this point that about 90% of the players here have rental markers, which, you know, are the basic 98. So I am trying to lay off my trigger just a little bit. You know, always want to be courteous and kind when you're playing, especially with new players, to try and keep them coming back to the field, especially with the decline in the sport as we're seeing. You know, you definitely want to see people try and lay back. I do have full auto on my X7, and there we got one finally walking out of that bush. I know there's still a couple more in there, so still popping a couple of shots off to see if we can get something out of that. But yeah, we definitely want to, you know, watch our trigger fingers a little bit, especially with new players, because nobody wants to go out there and just get torn apart on their first day of play, or really any day of play. You want to try and keep people coming back to the field, and, you know, have them have a really good time, and by laying off the trigger and, you know, maybe getting them one shot or maybe two, it'll definitely help get them back. Now, we got another guy walking out here, but I just dove down because there's still paint coming over my head. I thought at this point everybody was dead. And here's the final two guys walking out of this bush. My brother in the ditch bank got him, I think. I think he pulled those two guys out of that bush finally. You know, it was a really good battle in there. They held us for, you know, a good 5 minutes, maybe. By the time I fast forward and cut out some of this footage, but it was a good 5-minute hold up in there. And at this point, you know, we're checking to see how many people we got left. We don't see anybody up here, but it does get, the brush and stuff does get really thick up ahead, so we're trying to be careful. And you can see the farmer's field right there. That's basically the out of bounds line. I mean, there's no cover in the field, so why go into it, right? Still trying to get my team to move up. I mean, there's 5 or 6 people back there at least, and they are not pushing up at all. And I mean, nobody back there was even trying to do anything, I don't think. Definitely sitting, you know, sitting a little easy, as we all do in our first times of play, but, you know, as non-aggressive as the opposing team was, I wasn't really too afraid of people being dug in here up front too well and, you know, getting shots. So we're kind of being a little bit looser than we should from our cover. I know there's a guy that starts shooting from across the river here, the creek, and eventually I'm just going to give up on him because I can't hit him and nobody else here can hit him. So we pretty much just give up on him and expect our teammates that are all the way in the back to take care of that guy. You know, I guess we just assumed they'd take care of it. But we're still moving up here, still trying to be cautious. Don't really know what's hidden into these woods, and I honestly, to be, you know, completely truthful, haven't played enough of Africa to know exactly where the starting pole is back here. So I'm just kind of looking for it, trying to stay on the main path a little bit so I can find it, but still stay where I'm going to have enough cover and not get my head tore off. And, you know, it's very, very difficult to see, you know, across the river and into some of these trees, if anybody's sitting back in there dug in or anything. I'm kind of really worried about that and being a little bit more cautious than I normally would in maybe a more open area in my push toward the toward the end of the game here. Checking the creek bed right here because I know people like to push the creek bed. It's a really, really easy path because people normally don't like to watch it. And here we get into a little bit of trouble because I'm trying to get my teammates to move up, and I don't realize that they're moving up themselves because they're getting shot in the back. You know, our team not being aggressive like they were, or at least helpful in the sense that they kept me from getting shot in the back. They alerted me to this guy running up, and I didn't know if he was dead or not. I didn't even know what team he was on until they started yelling, and I took a couple shots at him, and he dug in, and I asked him if he was out, and he didn't say anything, so I popped a couple more, and he finally stood up, and that was that was a big scare of the weekend right there, because nobody was really watching our back too much. Not really too much here, so we're going to keep pushing up here, and I'm going to fast forward just a little bit more, because nobody's really in between me and the flagpole right now. So here we go, we had two more guys pop out of here. That one guy standing right in front of me is my teammate. He wasn't really communicating too well. He was just kind of pointing his gun up and pulling the trigger. I wasn't seeing anything, and he didn't really say there was actually a guy. He was just kind of shooting. So here I was thinking about digging into the woods a little bit deeper, get off the path, but I really didn't want to get into that stuff too much, and I was just watching for other people in there basically, and eventually I just kind of give up on it and go back to the path and try and get back to the flagpole. So I'm going to go ahead and run this commentation out to the end. We've only got about a minute left in the game. Finally got another guy walking out. That guy was he was a great guy to play with. He was real funny. You know, he was a great sport about everything. I mean, he took some really rough shots over the weekend, and he was a trip to play with. And basically right where the ref is standing is a flagpole at this point. And I thought it was behind him because I saw a cement block sticking up right behind him, and I'm asking him if that's what it is and if that's the flagpole, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, alright, so I start running for it, and I run behind him, and I'm like, wait, this isn't the flagpole, and I run right beside my brother, and hang the flag up right there. But finally, it was a good wrap to the game. I know not everybody died on the opposing team. They were still dug into the woods, and we had that one guy cross the river and come up behind us. That was kind of like the highlight of the game. It was a very slow game, but I thought it'd be a nice little bit of gameplay to commentate over and let you guys know what's up. I did go to Monster Game up in Michigan last weekend, and I got some really awesome footage there. A couple of highlight reels, I would say. I'm going to try and get a little bit better with my Vegas editing and stuff, and music montages and stuff before I put some highlight reels and some teasers up about that. I definitely won't post all the footage because I've got about a good 8 to 10 hours of footage, and I'm not going to put all that up. But I do have some good stuff, some pretty good highlight stuff, and you know, had a really great time, and as always, they run a really good game up there. Very safe, tons of refs, nice giveaway prizes. I mean, a very great weekend, and after I get some of this Bullcreek footage put up here, I'm going to go ahead and edit down that Hell Survivors footage and get some of that up, because I've got a lot of ideas I want to do with that footage. A lot of cool stuff, but I'm not sure if I actually know how to do it. So, thanks for watching, guys. I know it was a really long commentary. I apologize for that, but this is my first take at trying to get this stuff up for you guys to watch, and I really hope you enjoyed. Please leave me some feedback, whether it be positive, negative. You don't need to go ahead and flame the video, but any feedback helps a lot. I'm still trying to get my process down with videotaping the field action, and still figuring out some mounting issues and little editing things and stuff like that. I just figured out how to I'm actually using a different camera to record the audio for this commentary. I didn't have a mic that was good enough to use, so I'm importing the video into Sony Vegas and then slashing the video and keeping the audio for the commentary. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think and if you want to see more. Peace.